This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Chris Wragge. Federal investigators are trying to figure out what led up to that horrible limo crash in upstate New York. Police say a limo driver ran a stop sign and plowed into a parking lot Saturday, killing 20 people. It happened near the intersection of Route 30 and Route 30A in Scoharie. Now, the limo was carrying relatives and friends who were celebrating a woman's 30th birthday. CBS2's Lisa Rosner is there with more on this tragic crash.
Can't wrap your head around it. You just can't.
A birthday celebration among family and friends to a winery gone horribly wrong.
They did the responsible thing, getting a limo, so they wouldn't have to drive anywhere.
But Saturday afternoon, just before 2, police say the driver of the group's white limo descended down a steep hill on State Route 30 and then made a fatal error.
A 2001 Ford Excursion limousine was traveling southwest on State Route 30 and failed to stop at the intersection with State Route 30A.
It barreled into the parking lot of a country store, slamming into an unoccupied SUV and killing 2 pedestrians. All 18 people inside the limo, including the driver, died. Among the passengers, newlyweds Shane and Erin McGowan, Amy Steenberg and her husband Axel, as well as Axel's brother Rich Steenberg. This woman says it was Amy's 30th birthday, and Amy's 3 sisters were also in the limo.
They were wonderful girls. They'd do anything for you. One has 2 little children and one has 1 child. And they now have no home or no parents.
The National Transportation Safety Board will be on scene investigating for the week. So will New York State Police. Authorities won't say if anyone was wearing seatbelts.
New information in the investigation of a 24-year-old woman shot and killed while walking down the street in Bushwick, Brooklyn. Police say Gabriel Rivera turned himself in earlier this morning. He's the victim's ex-boyfriend. Last night, Sade Sanchez was shot multiple times in the torso around 10:30 p.m. at St. Nicholas and Menahan Streets.
I don't know, it was like a dark shadow over I guess, New York, or just say Brooklyn today, because a lot of things been going on all over today. I've seen a few shootings today. Then to come home on my block and see something struck on my block is crazy. I know her, like I said, I know her family for like 18 years. It's like my little sister.
Police say Sanchez was walking with her mother and her new boyfriend when she was shot. A driving instructor on Long Island is charged with DWI while on the job. Police say 58-year-old Russell Cohen was teaching 4 students Saturday morning when they became suspicious that he may be under the influence. Investigators say the students told Cohen to stop at a McDonald's in Center Reach so they could get something to eat. Instead, they called 911. Cohen, who worked for Suffolk Auto Driving School, allegedly took off, rear-ending another car and injuring that driver. New York is celebrating Italian-American heritage today at the Columbus Day Parade, set to start in just about half an hour from now. CBS 2's Janelle Burrell is along the parade route as final preparations are being made.
You can see all of the floats behind us here. We're near the start of the parade route, which is set to get underway in just a little bit. And you can see all of the colorful floats in the bright red, green, and white, as more than 1 million people are expected here along 5th Avenue in this annual celebration of Italian culture. This is the 74th annual Columbus Day Parade here in New York City, and it is the largest celebration of Italian-American culture in the United States. This year's theme is Education Cornerstone, the Italian-American experience. Now, every year, this event is organized by the Columbus Citizens Foundation, and it helps create scholarships for young Italian-Americans. So we're expecting more than 34,000 people to be marching in the parade. Again, more than 1 million spectators expected here. A little bit of damp weather, but not dampening the spirits of the people out here today as they celebrate their Italian-American heritage. That's the latest from Midtown. Janelle Burrell, CBS 2 News.
Well, as Janelle mentioned, there is a little bit of damp weather out there. What we can expect for the rest of the afternoon? Well, guess what? Vanessa Murdock is here now to let us know. Hi, Vanessa.
Hello. Good mid-morning, everybody. Very little will change throughout the rest of your Columbus Day. What you see out there right now is basically what you get all day long, with the exception of temperatures warming up by 3-4 degrees at most. 65 right now. We've got drizzle, variable winds at 5, your relative humidity 93%. A few showers popping up now on the Vortex satellite and radar picture, mainly northwest and north of the city. For today, mist, drizzle, a spotty shower. All of this in the realm of possibility. The clouds remain thick across the tri-state area, and we also have, of course, a lot of activity right now down in the Gulf. Western Cuba getting hit hard by what is now Hurricane Michael. Current stats, 75-mile-per-hour sustained winds. The storm is moving north at 7 miles per hour. It is expected to continue moving north while strengthening significantly before making landfall on the Gulf Coast, likely the Florida Panhandle, possibly as a Category 3 hurricane on Wednesday. This is something that they need to be very much prepared for along the Florida coastline, as well as Alabama and Mississippi. This storm will then make the northeasterly turn, weakening as it moves over land and could potentially have a direct impact here at home. It's important to note that that direct impact, if it should happen, would be basically windy conditions, but more likely torrential rainfall. It is not going to be the blasting storm that Florida has to deal with. We'll just deal with some very soggy, possibly windy conditions, but obviously something we need to pay attention to over the next few days. That would be Thursday. Today, 69 degrees, clouds, mist, drizzle, east winds 5 to 15. We stay tucked into those clouds overnight into your morning tomorrow. We start Tuesday off dreary. Pretty much what it looks like right now is what it will look like when you wake up tomorrow morning. By afternoon, it's pushing 80 degrees with some breaks of sun. Much more pleasant by afternoon tomorrow. A mix of sun and clouds on Wednesday. Then for Thursday, this is the day we're watching for potential impacts from Michael. I have to say, though, regardless of whether the storm rolls through town directly, it will be a soggy, stormy day on Thursday. Friday, possibly some lingering effects. Definitely expect rough surf Friday. By afternoon, skies are clearing. The temperatures are dropping. Next weekend looking amazing. Finally, upper 50s, low 60s with lots of sun. Chris.
All right, Vanessa, I guess that is good and bad. Happening today, a community meeting will be held in Washington Heights over concerns of a second Legionnaires cluster there. 8 people have been diagnosed with Legionnaires in the last week. There was another cluster in the same area this summer. The meeting will take place at 6 p.m. at the Jackie Robinson Recreational Center to provide residents with more information. In the Bronx, 2 people are recovering after a brutal attack on the street. Police are now searching for 2 teen suspects they say punched a man and woman on the sidewalk. Police believe the 2 teen suspects thought the 33-year-old man was making fun of them, and that's why they attacked. Security cameras were able to capture the altercation that happened around 1 a.m. Sunday morning along White Plains Road. Police say the teen started the fight, punching the man in the face and leaving him on the sidewalk unconscious. They say at some point after that, a 67-year-old woman walked by and the teens punched her as well. She suffered a fractured eye socket. Both victims were taken to area hospitals. They're listed in stable condition. A warning about some unintended consequences of recycling. Turns out certain toxic chemicals are making their way back into our homes. CBS 2's Dana Tyler tells us about the hidden ingredients.
Other than the feel,
you don't want something rough.
And maybe the thickness.
I like the very thin kind.
You probably don't give your toilet paper much thought, but maybe you should, says Mike Shade with the organization Safer Chemicals, Healthy Families.
As companies and businesses, government agencies promote recycling, it can be a double-edged sword in that we're beginning to see really dangerous chemicals ending up in products where they were never intended to be used in the first place.
Chemicals like bisphenol A that doctors have been warning about for years.
Bisphenol A, BPA, is an environmental toxin. It is referred to as an endocrine disruptor, in other words, our hormonal system in the body.
Several studies have linked BPA to a growing number of health concerns, prompting manufacturers to remove it from certain products, such as baby bottles, toys, and some food containers. But it's still widely used in the production of thermal paper products, like retail receipts and lottery tickets.
You put it in the recycling bin, it ends up at a recycling plant.
And now it's being reintroduced in a handful of new personal care products, like some recycled toilet paper, facial tissue, paper towels, and napkins.
There's also other chemicals that are intentionally added that are of concern.
Shade says chemicals like formaldehyde to prevent the paper from degrading, and chlorine dioxide, which is used as a bleaching agent. And it's not just paper products. Studies show when electronics are recycled, dangerous chemicals like flame retardants can unintentionally end up in items like food spatulas.
I'm not a scientist, but how much of that stuff is dangerous?
The Environmental Protection Agency says concentrations of these chemicals are so small, consumers should not worry.
We're not saying that using any one of these products in a single instance is going to cause a problem.
But it's the long-term, prolonged exposure Shade's organization and several other environmental groups are concerned with. Dana Tyler, CBS 2 News.
What's a concerned consumer to do? Shade suggests reading public labels, or product labels rather, and researching how your favorite brand is made on the company's website. Well, Uber and Lyft are now offering free rides on Election Day to make it easier for customers who want to get out and vote. Uber is teaming up with Democracy Works and #VoteTogether to provide free promo codes and voter information on Election Day. Just enter your address on the app and it will find your polling place. Lyft is offering 50% off codes to most customers and providing free rides in communities where many voters have a hard time getting to the polls. Well, a warning this morning about a Facebook hoax that you may have seen cross your news feed. You may have recently seen posts about accounts being hacked or cloned. Facebook officials say there has been no uptick in cloned accounts and say people may be spreading the messages out of fear. A good way to check if your account has been cloned, just search your name on Facebook. If more than one account with your photo shows up, well then contact Facebook. They'll be standing by to answer your call. Believe it or not, one of the signs of New York City's holiday season starts today. The rink at Rockefeller Center is officially open to Santa Claus and to the public for the winter season. The first public skating session began at 9 a.m. The rink remains open all the way through April. Before you know it, they'll be putting the tree up. That's your CBS2 News Update. I'm Chris Wragge. That's about a week or two away. I'm Chris Wragge. You have a great day.